We're going to go ahead and get started because it's right at 1 p.m. Thanks so much for taking your time out of your day to be here. My goal is simple. I want every one of you to leave with one idea that you can implement right away, whether that's just looking at your car count goals or maybe adding in some different strategies to increase your car count. So let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be practical. It's going to be probably about 30 minutes. I'm going to touch on the high points and hopefully you take away some stuff on this. Let me share my screen real quick. All right, so who is this workshop for, guys? This is really for any auto shop or almost any business looking to increase their shop's car count. I have this list here: auto repair shops, body and collision shops, detailers, PDR, and custom shops. And like I said, any other ones. Really, the only key is you want to increase your shop's car count. So it doesn't really matter. The principles are similar. And we're not talking about theory. We're going to talk about actionable steps that we've used over the years. So real quick about me, I don't want to make this too much, but just so you understand who you're talking to, you may have seen my videos and such before, but my background is, well, military, actually, if you see this. So flew in the Navy. And really all the stuff we're going to talk about today is basically from campaigns and lessons that we've learned helping different shops across the country. Here's some basic things that we've done. Industry recognition has been Auto Body News, Google partners and such. The problem we're going to be talking about today is how to get more customers and increase your car count. I think that's the main issue that most shops I talk to have. And that's the main thing that they want to be talking about. So first off, how do you currently get customers? If you want to answer in the chat, you can, but just think about it and let me know. My guess is strongly that if you're not doing ads, it's primarily going to be word of mouth and referrals. Now, this is great. You should absolutely have word of mouth and referrals. Everybody should be having people talking about them and generating referrals. That's the easiest customers to get. The problem is, like I say there, it's not a reliable growth strategy. You can't simply turn up, hey, let's get 10 more referrals this week or 10 more word of mouth. It just doesn't work that way. They come when they come, and then that's about it. You can't do that. But a question for you guys, and think about this, is how many of you would say referrals are still your number one source of business? So you don't have to answer that. Just think about it for a second, and then we'll go into the next steps. One of the common things that I often hear and common mistakes I hear this from lots of different businesses is, hey, it's the bad market, inflation, time of year, it's the bad season or economy. And some of these may be true. If you're seasonal, maybe you live in a remote area that only has people certain times a year. But for most of us here, if you have an auto shop, the fact is that the demand is there around the year, all year round. Even for things like PDR detailing, that's more cosmetic, the demand is still there. And the fact is, if you drive up and down most streets across America, even if a small town, little, regional, bigger city, you'll see that some businesses are open. They have tons of clients, tons of customers, and some do not. And why is that? I think, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So real quick, here are my 5 keys for auto shops to get more calls, more quotes, increase car count. I'm going to talk to these on the high level. And these are basically things you can implement for your shop. So here's what I hope that you'll take away from today is number one, here's where we're going to get into the calculator, is identify your car count goal. So hopefully you already know that, but if not, we're going to go into that. The number of leads to hit that goal, and then the strategy is to fill your shop pipeline and grow. So really it's kind of a step down from each of those. So before we get started, and this is again kind of a hypothetical question, but do you know how many additional cars you need each month to hit your revenue goal? Most shop owners don't. In fact, I just talked to a guy this morning who has a very good shop, but did not know these exact same numbers that I'm going to talk to. So let's go over to the auto shop growth calculator. Now here's where, if you had that link, you can click it. If you're on a desktop, you can open it. I sent it to your email. If you aren't able to see it now, you can go back to your email later and do it. But here is the calculator I'm going to show you. This is basically the exact same thing you guys have access to. So let me kind of reshape this a little bit so you can see it. I got to delete some of these assumptions. Okay. So I think if you're on a phone, it might be a little small, but the first step is, what's your average customer ticket or repair order? Now you don't have to tell me on here, but if you need to know this for your goals. And then we're going to talk about how many additional customers do you want per workday or really per week? We can just backtrack. And so let's start with the average customer ticket RO. For most auto shops I talk to, we're talking repair mechanical. To me, a lot of times it's between about 600 to 750 or so. So if we say 650, and this is actually for major franchises as well. Of course, you're going to have jobs that are much higher, and then you got oil changes that are much lower. So if you look at the average ticket, 650. If you're talking PDR, it might be 250, 350. If you're talking auto body, could be 2,000 plus 5,000, something like that. But looking at the average, you should know that. Plug that in. Then how many more customers do you want per day? Or you could just say per week. So for this person, let's say this is kind of a medium level shop, and they want 5 more per day. Really, they say 25 more per week. So obviously the math there is they're open 5 days a week. If you're open 6, you can put that in there too. That gives you down here 25 more per week or 100 more per month. The next piece would be the average lead cost. So if you haven't run ads, you may not know what your average lead cost is. But what we actually have seen running ads for people across the country is for most shops out there, whether it's auto repair, auto body, anything, it's around $15 to $30. If you're talking like hail repair or higher margin pieces, they could be a little bit higher. But if we just started that baseline $20, okay, that will give you a good number to go by. Okay, the next piece is your lead closing percentage. Now, this one, again, is if you don't know it, we'll just go with 50%. But this would be out of every 10 customers that call you or request a quote or information, how many actually come in to be a customer. Okay, 50% is 5 out of 10. You may be 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10, but you also might be 6 or 7 out of 10. So the better that is, the lower the cost will be. All right, let's just assume 50%. We're going to go through this. In order to get 100 cars per month, actually, here's your growth goal. If for 100 cars per month at 650, that's your growth goal per month, 65K. We're not talking your current revenue. We're just talking the goal here. Let me just change this up to make this, if it's 750, what would happen? Here's the benefit. If you increase this RO, you can see, okay, I got it up a little bit higher, right? If you get one more customer a day, or actually that's 6, if you got one more, you get up to 90K. So you can see how this calculator can benefit you and show you some different scenarios. If you did like a paintless dent repair example 3, let's just say you're kind of a smaller shop or smaller one-man shop, one-man operation, couple-man operation. Maybe it's just 10 jobs a week, so 14K. Not much for a bigger shop, but for a smaller guy, not bad. A quick collision example, 2,000. Say it's 2,000, all you want is one job a day, sorry, 5 a week, 20. That's at 40K. But then if that job goes up to 5K, you're at 100K for those 20 jobs. So that's an example of how you can use this right there. But let's go back to our original example and show you. In order to get the 100 cars, you need twice as many leads. So you need 200 leads to get 100 cars if it's 50%. I know it's a lot of math, but that's why we built the calculator to make it simple. Assuming that it costs you $20 a lead, you'd have to spend about $133 a day in order to get those leads. Now, I know exactly what some people are out there saying, like $133, I never spent any money. This is to show you what it would take to get this goal. So for shops doing this, you're probably already spending money. For the smaller guy that only needs like one car a day, $25 a day. So here's how you can monitor that and see, like, okay, if you never run ads before, this might be your goal down here. 1 car a day, 5 days a week, $27 a day is about what you could spend. That's actually a pretty good starting point. So all that to say, you can plug those numbers in and see your potential, your growth goal. Obviously, this is different for every single shop. So it'd be great if I could ask each of you right now if you plug those numbers in, but I'm not going to bring people on. But hopefully, did anyone actually do that? Were they actually able to pull that number up? If not, once again, go back and look in your email and you can plug this stuff in later. All right, so now that you have your growth goal, hopefully, let's go back over to the presentation. So you just got your goal. Now that's great that you got your goal. Actually, first off, what is your growth goal? How many of you would love 5 more cars per day or per week? So we just showed you what the number is there. So now, really, you got the goal, but how do you get those leads? So It's about getting leads that translate into customers. So how do you get those leads? Well, you need a system in order to get those leads, to get in front of people who are searching, in front of people who are wasting time on social media, and reach your audience who wants your service. So now here's the quick keys to attract more customers. And some of these you guys will have already had, some will not. But first off, this is the key, the basic number one, or key number one, not the number one, but the first key is your online presence. My guess is most of you out there have this. So if you don't have this, if you're not online, then you can't get leads online. Just a simple facts here. You need a website, Google Business, and Facebook. Most of you have that. So website, there you go. It should look good on mobile. We could talk about this a lot all day, how to improve it, but there you go. Website, Google Business. You need this. It's free. This is the only way people can find you on Google Maps. If you don't have that, you can get that set up. We got one set up a few weeks ago, literally in minutes. So do that. Facebook Business, once again, you can set this up really fast and start running ads fast. But it's how people see you on Facebook, and it's the only way you're going to be able to run Facebook ads. So this will be a key later on. So now, what are most shops missing? And here is where, on the left, like I said, most shops have these. My guess is most people in here have the website, have Google Business, Facebook, but you're probably missing something on the right. And in fact, some of you probably have Google Ads, Facebook, but maybe you're not getting the actual leads. You're not getting conversions. I actually just talked to a guy this morning who has all this stuff, looks amazing, but they're not getting leads on Google. And it's most likely due to some setup issues. So now what I want you to do is think about your customer, put yourself in your customer's shoes, or even just think about what you would personally do. How do you or your customers find products or services online or anywhere? So whether it's pizza near me, or Chinese restaurants or anything in the area, think about that. How do you do it? I mean, I think we all know the answer to it. It's you Google it. So this would be really using Google Maps, Google Search. It's one of those two, or both for the most part. And this is where we'll differentiate a little bit on a couple of these. But think about how you would do that. One would be if you type in auto repair shop near me, body shop near me, paintless dent repair shop. And once again, the pizza example, Chinese, all those things. And then they're going to pull up your shop, hopefully. Well, in order to do that, once again, you're going to be on Google Search or Google Maps. And the key here is Google Ads. So Google Ads is going to get you on top of that search. And let me show you an example here. First off, I'm going to give you an example in Houston. And before I do that, you may or may not mention here, but think about who in here is running Google Ads. If you're running Google Ads, hopefully this gives you some ideas. But in Houston's a big populated area, I know, but right now there's about almost 100,000 searches per month in Houston for auto body shops. And here's the data. I pulled this up earlier. I can pull this up for pretty much any location or for any service. Even if you're in a small town or big city, we can pull up this data, and the data tells you what the demand is. So here we got all these searches combined for 99,000. The point is not that there's 99,000 customers. No one needs that. You might only need 20 of those, or 40 of those per month. So that's the point I want you to take away from this. This is the demand exists. It's about how you get in front of that demand and can stay in front of it. Here's a quick example of what Google Ads look like. I'm sure you're familiar, but here's the Houston example. And on Google Maps, as you probably know, you got the little dots. These are all your Google listings, Google Map listings. And what I want you to understand is on the left side, you can try this on your own computer, on your own phone later, and type in your service or one of these services and see what happens. Chances are good you're either going to get a shop with lots of reviews or a shop that has a sponsored ad at the top. And you may not realize it's sponsored even. And that's what your customers are doing. They're typing this in. Literally the first shop that pops up, they click and call. They click and call them, or they request a quote or go to their website. So that's the major piece to understand. And again, talking to a shop yesterday, they're doing this, they're running ads, but for some reason they're not showing up properly. And one of the main keys is proper setup. So here's actually an ad example. This is actually paintless dent repair, but you could imagine this could say auto body repair or auto repair mechanic near me, stuff like that. One of the main things is it'll show up on mobile or on your computer. And really the main thing we want is someone to click that phone call during your business hours, or click on the ad and go to your landing page. So again, another major issue, which I see this very frequently, is when someone clicks on your ad, it goes to the website. Website is good, but what we want is something like this, a landing page. Now, it says top auto body collision repair shop, but it could be auto repair, detailing, anything. What we want is them to come to this, and the only option is to fill out this form or fill out your booking form. That's the only option we want. When we give people too many options, it seems silly, but they start clicking around. Next thing you know, they see something else and they forget about your ad. So you want to get them in there quick, fill out the form, and go on and get a conversion. And a conversion would be a phone call or a quote request in this example. So here are a couple things we've seen. Here's kind of a client, an auto body collision client. Before running Google ads, they were kind of flat, meaning not any leads. And then afterwards, they're getting quite a few leads. Conversions is what Google calls them. Either quote requests, appointments, or phone calls. That's really what we care about. So here's another one for auto repair, and quite a few. Here's the numbers, but the amount doesn't necessarily matter. It's really just the conversions. And so that could be for any shop. Here's another paintless dent repair one. And actually, here's an example of that cost per lead is that $25. How I mentioned that conversion, here's where that comes from. And you should really be able to trace this back to your ads account. Okay, so what shops should use Google Ads? I think I answered this earlier, but it's pretty much any shop out there. Now, the only caveat is we want to start by searching looking at the demand on Google Keyword Planner. There's some other tools out there, but if you're in any kind of decent sized city, then chances are very good that auto repair, auto body is a very good search. As we get down to PDR, detailers, custom, that may be a lower demand search. So that's where we want to dial that in and make sure it's good search. But even a lower search volume could be 10,000 a month, 10,000 searches per month, which could be good enough. Here's where you might start with Facebook ads instead of Google ads. So the next piece, people always ask me is how long does it take to work? Well, funny thing is I do get clients who tell me, hey, you started running ads and the next day I got leads. And that's great. Usually Google will tell you, hey, it takes 14 days for the setup to work properly and all that stuff, and the Google algorithm. So there is some timing to it. There is some corrections that you need to be making with keywords and search terms, but it can start working right away. Ideally, what happens is someone clicks on your ad, that turns into a phone call or a quote request that tells Google it's working. They give you more what you want. That's kind of the basic process. It takes longer, but what I want you to understand is you're dealing with this demand. This demand right here for Houston, whatever place you're in, is you're wanting to stay in front of that demand constantly. And that's what the power of Google Ads would be once it's really working for you. So the next key is Facebook ads. Now, the biggest difference here is Google Ads is getting in front of people searching, like that huge number I just told you. Facebook is getting in front of people who are literally wasting time all day long. But the real point is that Facebook knows your audience. They can reach your target audience fast. And you probably understand this, that they know so many data points, but I think they know 52,000 points and probably more than that on you. No one's looking for auto repair, paintless dent repair, Google body shops on Facebook, but Facebook knows that you just got in a car accident. They know that your car is not working or whatever. For some reason, they know all that stuff, so they can show you those ads, and it can really be beneficial. So that's what that's doing. How can it help you? The number one way is leads. Once again, we're talking leads for most of this, and then branding would be the secondary piece. But for most shops out there, you can get leads directly from Facebook. And this will be lead forms or Messenger. Landing page will kind of be secondary. Local brand. I'm going to talk about that a little bit for auto repair shops, if I have that example here. Well, let me give you a couple examples here. This will be kind of body shops. Here's how you can get leads, body shops, PDR. And if you notice the cost per result would be the lead cost. It's in that $20 range. That's kind of an old example, but it still works. You show up an accident and Facebook shows it to people. Here's a guy working on a dent. He may just be posing for it, but because most people can't see those dents. But lots of leads here from just doing that. Same thing, auto body PDR. These you can't really see so much, but I just wanted to show you that the lead costs are very similar. We're actually seeing lead costs a lot lower recently with kind of before and after picture videos. It's kind of interesting. Started some ads this week, last week for a brand new ad account, a new Facebook page. Literally no post on it. They're getting $2-3 leads, which is unusual, but it's working. Here's a body painting one. Here's one where, auto body painting can be quite a high margin and it's getting leads there. Is another painting one. I just want to show a couple more detailing ones. So these detailing ones, some of these, if you notice, are less than $10 leads. And then here's the last one, ceramic coating detailing. So quite a few low cost, very low cost. And these will be videos and pictures. So yeah, we got videos. So we could talk quite a bit about the tactical aspect, but I really want to mention just the opportunity to get in front of your customers on these platforms. So once again, let's see, how long does it take for Facebook ads to work? I just mentioned, I usually see we can see Facebook working literally the same day or within a few days to get leads. If it's not working, if you've been running Facebook ads and it's not working to get leads, then there's probably something wrong. So, but that said, you really want to be monitoring it and testing it out, changing up videos, changing up images frequently so that you're not exhausting those pictures. Okay, so the next piece, now you've just got leads from Facebook and Google, maybe your website. What is the next piece? The next piece is the AI and automated follow-ups. And you're probably familiar with this stuff, but I want to give you a quick example and show you this because here is Facebook form. Now, the Facebook forms have changed quite a bit over the years. This is like the last piece you'd ask for is name, email, phone number. Before this, typically would say, hey, do you need paintless dent repair? Looking for a body shop, looking for whatever in this area. Give us your car, your make and model, click the next information, submit. Once that's submitted, or a form like this on your landing page or website, once that's submitted, what we want to do is we want to make sure that information gets to you, the business owner, and to the customer very quickly. Actually, another example, a person I just talked to last night has leads coming in Facebook, but they don't know where they're at and they're not being tracked. They're not being sent. So you want to make sure that's coming to you. This would be kind of like, pretend this guy's name is Samuel. He just requested a quote. You want to text him back. So when I say you, I don't mean you personally. I mean the AI or the automation will automatically text them back. And then you want your shop, whoever is going to manage these leads, to get that information very quickly so that you can call them. Because we know if you don't talk to that customer really quickly, they're just going to go to the next person down the list. There's too many shops out there now that they can just do that with. But the other piece I want you to understand is how great would it be for you not to have to worry about this, to think like, oh, did I contact this guy? Yes, you automatically contacted him. And the other piece is, let's say someone finds your ad at 2 a.m. They got in a car accident, whatever it is. They just decided to submit this. You're probably not going to call that guy back at 2 a.m. But your automation can say what the next step is. And that's the critical piece, is having that automation there, having an AI automated follow-up to do the things that you can't do right away. You still want that human interaction, but you can actually send them notifications, text, emails, and all that stuff. So that's a big thing. I want you to think about immediately getting a text from your shop, immediately getting an email, kind of like a doctor's office. We want that level of quality there. Here's a quick way that AI can also help you. I mean, the automated text, AI chat. So now it's where not just one automation, but now they can chat back and forth and try to book that appointment. Okay, so now you're texting people, now you're getting leads. The next piece we want is customer tracking, because if you're not tracking this, then you're not really knowing where all your revenue is going, where all your costs are going to. So really the shops that are growing are consistently knowing where every lead is in this process. So you never have to imagine where it's at. This is something we use, whether it's this system or another system, you want something that you actually use and track new leads coming in, appointments and all that stuff. Ideally, you can text them and message them on this platform, which we do that here. So there's quite a bit of things that our system does as well that you can use. The main piece I do want you to think about is customer tracking. no matter how you do it, you want to track the leads coming in that you purchased because you're paying for this stuff. You want to set appointments. You want to track them at each stage. So, one example, if you have a multi day job for auto repair, auto body, it could be for PDR, could be for detailing, but imagine being able to text a customer automatically that, hey, your insurance just got approved, your part just came in, whatever it is that just happened. Imagine automatically being able to text that person and let the customer know instead of just waiting, weeks on end for a longer job. So that's going to give you increase your customer service and just increase the customer experience is what we really care about. So that is the fifth key. And on that note, that is really the 5 keys for auto shop growth. So your online presence, which we talked about, hopefully most of you already have that. If you don't, that's where to start. You can't run these ads without that stuff, but 2 of these are free. Google ads is going to get you in front of people searching. Facebook is going to get in front of people who are wasting time, but yet there's still potential leads out there because Facebook knows all the information, AI follow-ups, and then customer tracking. So I guess, if you were to tell me, think about which one of these do you need to focus on next? Or is it all of them? Do you have any of these yet? Or do you need all of them? So one you to think about, and actually, I guess the next piece would be, here's how we can help. So if you don't have any way to do this stuff, we can actually do your online presence for you, Google ads or Facebook ads or AI CRM for you. But what I want you to do is think about this. And after today's workshop, do you have a better idea of how many cars you actually need? How many cars you need to hit your goal? Have you thought about your goal? Hopefully in this last 30 minutes, hopefully I just gave you kind of a masterclass on one is just some business growth ideas and where to go for the next, maybe you've got a very good business in tune already, but have you thought about what that next level is that you want to get to? And now using that growth calculator, hopefully you thought about, okay, here's how many leads I need to get my goal. And then what's the next piece that you need to implement in order to get there? So do you have a better idea, better understanding of where those customers are going to come from? So if the answer is yes, the next question is really, how do we apply this to your shop? And that's where this next piece would come in. We're not selling anything today. All we're doing is talking about this. And if you need kind of a growth strategy session, if you want to talk to us about how this could help you, then this is where it's at. Well, I will walk you through these things myself. We can talk about your car count goals, and in a matter of a few minutes, we can see what your car count goals are, what it would cost on the ad side to get there. And again, maybe you haven't run ads, but it doesn't matter because I've just took somebody who'd never run ads before last week, and now they're getting tons of leads. And again, not every lead turns into a customer, but at least it's someone who's actually submitting their information, asking for your services, and it's going to generate business. So that's kind of the key I want you to think about. So again, we'll look at this stuff. We'll look at your website, Google Business, current marketing. Some of these things may be very great, very good for anyone here. You may have all that stuff dialed in, which is great because you can have the greatest website in the world. You can have the greatest Facebook and Google Business, but if no one sees you, it doesn't really matter. Think about the sign you drive by, whether it's a shop or whether it's a restaurant. It may be the most beautiful sign you've ever seen, great artwork, but if no one sees it, it doesn't matter. And this is one reason you think about businesses that fail, whether it's shops, hopefully no shops are failing, but whether it's restaurants. I see a lot of restaurants that go out and you think, oh, that hole in the wall restaurant, I never even knew about it. The reason is they failed to advertise. And that's what I want to help you guys avoid, because I know for a fact that the demand is there for pretty much everyone here's services, whether it's auto repair, PDR, body shops, or other things. The demand is absolutely there. Every shop cannot handle all the demand. So there's more demand than any shop can handle. There's enough to go around. So if you'd like help with that, I'd love to hop on a call with you guys. You can go to this link right here, and I'm not sure if you can click on it or not, but it's autoshopmarketingpros.com. You can go to schedule and then just schedule a call with us. We probably have some time tomorrow and then even next week to hop on that. So either way, if you decide to implement yourself, or we can help you out with that. But either way, you'll leave knowing exactly what to do with your shop. So that is kind of the wrap up there. But before we go, I know we got quite a few people on here, but I wanted to see if there's actually any questions. And I know some people might not want to talk about their business out loud, but does anyone have any questions you want to put in the chat? You don't want to say your shop name, but if you have a question that you want to type in, let's see, I see somebody got here late. Yeah, so if you did get here late, I think the biggest piece is, one is, let me just share this again for you. Can't see the name. I think the biggest piece would be scheduling a call with me. And then I mentioned this to everybody here. Oh, it's a calculator. So yeah, I did have this calculator that I sent everybody, and this would be in your email. So you might have to check junk or spam. So that would be there. But the next piece would be having a call. And let me see if I can send this link. So there's the link. Okay, text Homa. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely don't mind having a call with you guys and doing these items here. So again, no cost on this call or anything. We can talk about any of these items, and I mentioned, throughout this that most of you guys have a lot of these top systems, but there may be some gaps. There may be one or two gaps that if you identify that gap and fill it, that could be the difference between getting all the calls and customers you need and not. Kind of like, for most shops, people come to you because they need your service, whether it's PDR or whether it's auto body or auto repair. They're coming to you to fix something that they have no idea about. Hey, I got this weird sound in my car. And for you, it's like, oh, it's simple. It's this piece. I found this easily to fix. You identified that issue and fixed it. And that's the same thing kind of in this case, is identifying that one issue that could make the difference between growing and not. So especially if you're already running ads and getting leads. So, okay. I think I had it on unmute. So if anyone wants to unmute their mic, they can now. They should be able to. If you have a question, start video. So you could also start your video now if you want. If not, then looks like Sergio, did you have a question? I think looks like you unmute.
I do. Maybe I'll talk to you guys, maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll set up an appointment or something.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. So if you got that, did you get that link there? Or you can send us or email us back at the one that we sent out, then you can schedule there as well.
I'll do that. No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I get the email.
Well, I'd make it till tomorrow, but
Okay.
I might as well go.
Okay. Well, call me when you get there.
Is that Texoma Dent? Did you guys have a question?
I do have a question though. My biggest problem is I'm in a kind of a small market compared to probably what you're used to dealing with.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of competition as far as for the paintless dent repair.
Right.
And which I don't do any ads or anything like that, but I rank very well as far as Google and Apple Maps and all that stuff goes. And I land, I'd probably say 80 to 90% of the jobs that come here for us.
Yeah.
I just don't get enough calls to, some weeks I may get, 5 or 6 cars jobs, and some weeks I may not get none.
Yeah.
We're in a population of around 85 to 90,000.
Okay. Well, that's actually not bad. I think. Wait, are you in? I won't mention it on here. I don't want anybody looking.
Oklahoma, Southwest Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah. So that's awesome how you're already ranking for everything there. So one thing, are you doing any kind of social media ads, Facebook ads or anything?
Oh, I do. I haven't done them lately. I do, boosting posts and stuff, and very limited on that stuff. If we have a hailstorm in the area, I'll be booked up for months, fairly quick.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not a matter of people not finding me. It's just more of a matter of, I think most people, I get a lot of referrals from body shops, so people still just think, dent, they got to go to a body shop.
Right. So one thing. Okay, I'll give you something here. Maybe I can pull up an active account. One thing I've seen recently. Now this is possible. There's some areas that are very similar in size to yours. No guarantee how it works across a different location, but we're seeing kind of before and after videos working really well for leads on Facebook. That's one thing I would definitely try.
Yeah. And
when I say low cost, let me see if I can share this screen again real quick. Yeah, because the Google, if you're not getting the demand, which the demand might be there as well. Did you say you're running Google ads or no?
No.
Okay. So you could try that to see, and we have to look at the demand in the actual area. But if I imagine there's probably more demand than that, and you probably don't need that many more cars. But here's what we just saw. This is actually right now, last few days. I'm not going to put the rest of it, but so this is PDR before and after videos. It's like a ad, $3 per lead. It's actually insane. This would be very worth it for most people to do because it doesn't cost.
That's pretty affordable.
Yeah, it doesn't cost much. Now, I am shocked at this. I'm always shocked at it, but I've seen this working in multiple areas right now. The exact same strategy. So it's something I would do with PDR, even body shops right now.
Yeah.
So body shops and PDR. With one thing with PDR is some guys don't know. They see a big dent on a car and think you can fix anything, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that is one thing I would definitely try. I would definitely look at the Google ads too, because remember, it's only going to cost you when they click on it. So if there's not a demand, then you're not going to get paid. You're not going to get charged.
Okay.
So even though you're in a smaller area and you might dominate that small area, it might be that the people are outside there and they might want to come to you because you have such a good reputation.
Yeah, I mean, I occasionally do have people drive from a city that's about an hour west of here that actually has, other techs in the city, but I do have a pretty good reputation. So I mean, I have people from the Air Force Base on a pretty regular basis drive over.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah, you mentioned Air Force military guys, they love to spend money on cars.
Yep.
And especially a lot of times I've seen younger kids. I mean, I think, I'm not sure if you saw my preview. I'm prior military.
I found that the Air Force are more likely to keep their cars in better shape than Army. I mean,
right.
I have people come in here from the Army, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to them, but I mean, they come in here and they'll be way in upside down over their car, and they'll have the car be beat to death with hail damage, but they're worried about a fender that needs to be replaced, but they're hoping for a miracle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally get it.
And then, of course, those are not the ones I'm trying to land. But I mean, as far as a customer coming in for an estimate, I land a very high percentage of them.
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's two things I would say. Like, I'm not sure if you saw the presentation earlier, but yeah, one is the demand, and you could, if your area is big enough that people are coming to you from an hour away, then showing up in that demand the hour away, that would be Google ads. Even though you might be showing up high, you might be missing out on some of the people who are farther away. So that could be a good option. Google ads, and then I'd try that. I would definitely try that before and after video strategy for PDR.
Yeah, well, I do have a lot of before and after on my Facebook page. And
right.
I don't work my Instagram like I need to, but and I don't know, a lot of people say to do tick stuff like that, but
yeah.
To be honest with you, after 8 to 10 hours here a day, it's just me and my son. I get home, the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to, as in it would be a lot less stressful at times.
Right.
I mean, like right now, I mean, we've got hail work scheduled for probably the next 2 months, but the hail work is not what I'm going at. What I want to go after, the door dings and minor dents and stuff that carries us through the winter months.
Yeah, it's more consistent. Can't rely on the storms are great for that time.
Oh, but,
yeah. I mean, so you mentioned something that I do hear a lot. I've got all these videos and pictures on Facebook and maybe Instagram, but remember, the issue is that Facebook isn't going to keep showing those videos to people unless it's like a viral reel. So that's the reason why it has to be an ad. So it's going to be on your page, but it also needs to be an ad to show to people, to continue to show to people, because we've got videos that are years old and no one would ever see it, but unless you'd have the ad running.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the key. And then it's plugging it in. If you're getting low cost leads and the leads work out, you get a $3, $5, even $20 lead, but it turns into a $200 job. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's a great return. I'd like to say that's the customers I need, because a good percentage of the ones that come to me, they're either a past customer or their neighbor has referred them. I mean, I do get a lot from my online presence, but I'd say the majority of them come from referrals.
Yeah.
And usually body shop, because that's, they go to the body shop and body shop tells them, hey, I think, you could probably get by, without making a claim on this. And then that's when they come see me. And luckily, those are the ones that, they already know what it's going to cost them. So selling them is pretty easy.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's good. So that's what I definitely look at.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to help on a call, we could definitely chat about some of these things more detail. Yeah.
The thing about them, I guess I just don't know how to do it. I do. I'll do an ad that you boost or whatever, but there's other. I mean, I can't get on Facebook right now without. I mean, watching reels or something without somebody's hail ad showing up. And I mean, and they won't even be in this area. They'll be Oklahoma City or Dallas or, nowhere close to here.
Right.
But I mean, they're constantly. So it's almost makes me feel like there is so much there that you see it so much. I don't even know if people will click on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so.
And occasionally I do see mine, at the bottom of one of them.
Right. Right. Yeah. So part of that you just mentioned is actually people who do not have their ads set up correctly.
Right.
And I've seen that myself where I'm seeing, we have a hailstorm here, and then next thing you know, I'm in Missouri. And then next thing you know, I see ads from Dallas. I'm like, these guys are not. You want that hail ad in maybe a couple mile radius. I mean, you don't.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this earlier this year when Springfield got hit with hail, I was running some ads, and I was getting calls, daily from the Springfield area, and I'm like, you want to bring it to me, but
yeah. Well, yeah, actually, I'll tell you what, it might have been worth it for some people. We didn't have any glass here.
I know it.
So, yeah,
so that's most of those cars are they're not what I say a PDR shop wants to be working on.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's one thing is the targeting, the location, and then I mean, I see a lot of shops who are the targeting is off. So that's part of the key.
And I went in and tried to zoom it into my area, but I don't know, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, and every time, every time I do a fresh campaign or whatever, a fresh new ad, I'll get a bunch of fresh likes. But I mean, like the last time, I was getting likes from New York City or New York State.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
So that's the key I like to tell people is, sometimes I like to pretend that I'm a mechanic and change my oil. And then I'm like, I need to just let the experts do this.
Right.
I can watch all the videos I want about how to fix a dent, and I'm never going to be the same as some friends of mine that can do it,
Right.
So that's I think the piece is, I mean, you could watch all my videos and I can send you all the training about how to do it. But at the end of the day, you're a master at fixing dents but not necessarily at the other stuff. Everybody can figure it out, but is it worth your time? That's
I mean, I'm not willing to, I mean, I'm not against paying somebody to do it, as long as it can be profitable for me. I mean, I've done something a few years ago, and I mean, there's just so many different people out there that claim they promise the world, but deliver very, very little.
Right percent.
For instance, and I won't mention his name, but he's somebody that he's a big name in the PDR business. He got successful in marketing in his area, and all of a sudden decided to move from the Northeast down to Dallas. And I don't think his marketing worked too well down there. And now he's back in the PDR business. But, I reached out to him, because he just was online on Facebook constantly, bragging about how well he could market, businesses and everything. So, I reached out to him and was ready to do something. And he's looked at my website. He said, yeah, your website's good and everything. He said, what we need to do is wait till it hails, and then when it hails, just hit it real hard. And I said, you don't understand. But, that's not what I'm after. Right. I don't need to hit it real hard when it hails. When it hails, I'm hopeful that all the guys that I normally use are still available.
Yeah. No, right. So the regular door dings and small dents.
Yeah, so. The things that happen to people every day.
Right, exactly. That's the continuous year-round demand.
Yeah, so. That's where I need to grow my business.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. How about I give you a call, and if you want, or sign or schedule, and we can talk. And
well, just call me when you can, and if I for some reason can't answer the phone, just leave me a message, and I'll call you back as soon as I can.
Sounds good. Absolutely. I'm sure we can keep talking. I want to see if does anybody else have a question here. I know we got a couple. I think John popped on here. I think you popped on here at the end. I wanted to see if you had any questions there about. And I know maybe you guys missed some of the stuff. I guess I'll throw it up here.
Yeah, I didn't get to see none of your presentation. I had the hardest time getting that Zoom to let me log in for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we can go over that when we have a call. So, well, anybody else? I'll show this one more time for everybody, and then we'll kind of call that at the end. Let me see. I just want to make sure. If anybody else has any other question here, here's kind of my last little slide, and that if anyone wants to get a call later, or even just to talk about your shop, what you think you might need. And if you don't have this, you should have got the text and email reminders. You can text us back there, and then we can send you a link to schedule, or just help you schedule right then. So
okay, yeah, I'd like to go back and watch the rest, the first part of your presentation if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have this up on YouTube here in a few days.
Okay.
So, well, everybody, I think that's about time. Let me see. We've been on here for about almost an hour, probably half hour worth of questions. So, well, I appreciate everybody coming out, and I love helping everybody here. Love talking to anybody here about their shop and business, and kind of, my background is military, and I just love serving people and helping people. I think I do find that most of the really good business owners, that's their main passion, is helping people. So that's one thing I love, hanging out with business owners who like supporting people. Obviously, we're there to help you grow as well. Okay, guys. Well, with that, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.